Hello there, very good morning to you. How are you all today? Who have we got in first thing this morning? Can't see anybody on YouTube yet, but we've only just gone live, so there you go. How are you doing? Welcome to the Half Yard Club. Saturday so along. Now then, today we're going to be making this little pouch. Didn't give you very much notice for this, I'm sorry about that. I forgot it was this weekend, just being honest. So I posted on Facebook and on YouTube, if you subscribe, all of the ingredients that you need to make a little patchwork pouch, which is fully lined as well. It's a little bit of fun, but I think it looks quite effective. So if you're sewing along with me, come and let me know, leave me a message. Oh gosh, here we go. Morning to Carol and on my Facebook page has just shrunk like that, so all of the messages are really tiny. Hello Caroline, hello Mandy, good morning to you. Morning Deirdre, morning Maud, who have we got on YouTube? Brenda first in from Kentucky. Hello Brenda in Kentucky, welcome back again. Hello Geraldine, Charlotte, Dull in Wisbech. You know, it's really nice here actually in Lincolnshire. It's quite mild and quite warm. It's not bright sunny or anything, but it's quite mild. It's a nice dog walking day if I had the time. Hello Melissa in Oklahoma. Hello Bernadette. And Julie's in Cambridgeshire. Hello Helen. And oh gosh, there's so many of you here. Apologies if I miss hellos, but would spend the whole morning saying hello. If I said hello to everybody. Hello Christina. Just cut all my I'll just cut all her daughter's hair off for donating to the Little Princess charity for children's wigs after cancer. That's amazing. Oh, morning Yvonne, morning Caroline. Cherie is in Idaho, hello. And Anne's in Australia. Now last week we had so many people in Australia messing, because I thought it might be quite nice if you all got together, because it's only a village, isn't it? Yeah, come and let me know. Anne's in Melbourne. I think I said that one, didn't I? Anyway, a little bit of news about the Half Yard Club. I'll tell you all about it if you're not aware, because you may be watching my lives on a Saturday morning and a Wednesday afternoon regularly and not realise what the Half Yard Club is, but that's what the last Saturday of the month is all about on YouTube and Facebook. It is a subscription website. It's £5.99 a month, which I think is incredible value considering you'd pay more than that for one pattern. And it's available to anybody, and any of you, anywhere in the world where you happen to be, because everything is online and everything is downloadable. Yeah, oh, hello, Vintage Butterfly in Brisbane. Hello, Mazlinda is in Singapore. Hello to you too. Yep, so we've got a few thousand members now, so we're getting quite global and quite big. And basically what your £5.99 does, or whatever that is in your country, as the currency translates. Oh, if you join for a year, you get 2 months free, by the way, just mention that. We bring you every month a brand new project, and that project could be dressmaking, quilting, bag making, toy making. It could be homewares, it could be quilting. Did I say that? So there's a different genre. Try to do something different, something for everybody every single month. Your main project will have a video tutorial, and you've got step-by-step instructions and downloadable pattern where appropriate. So next month, which is next week, isn't it? That's gone by quickly. Your main project will be released on the 1st of the month. So next week, your project is going to be the Witches and Wizards outfit for Maddie and Robin. Now Maddie's the main project, so that's going to be with you on the 1st. Robin's witch outfit or wizard outfit is a bonus, so that's a little bit extra. That's going to come out on the 2nd. If you haven't seen Maddie and Robin before, those are rag dolls that are on the website that you'll be able to download and make. So that's one. Morning Lisa. Then you'll have a secondary project halfway through the month, which won't have the video, but you will have patterns if needed and your step-by-step instructions. And on top of that, you'll have a privy to a very bulky dog this morning, a block of the month. So the Seminole patchwork that you can just about see down here, I think, is this year's block of the month. Next year's is going to be a little bit more Christmassy, but I'll tell you more about that nearer the day when we release it. Now, when you join, you can join for a month for free by putting the word welcome in capital letters into the coupon box when you've registered. and then you get a month for free. You will be notified when your month's up, so if you don't want to carry on your membership, then you can just cancel it. When you do join, you will have access to 2 years worth of projects. So every month one project is taken down from 2 years ago, so you've constantly got 48 projects plus your block of the month that you can access at any time you like. We do let you know when those projects have been taken down, and we give the opportunity to download the videos and the projects as well, so you can save them, so you're not going to lose them after they've gone. So instantly, the day you join, you've got 48 projects that you can work your way through for £5.99 a month. Just saying. Making a quilted table runner based on the one you had behind you a couple of weeks ago. What do you want help with, Sue? We'll see what we can do. Oh, hi, Brian. Morning, everyone. Joyce. Morning, Jan. Now I've missed loads of your comments. I do go through all of these afterwards. And on the Half Yard Club, it's not just me. There's a whole team of us. And the social media ladies will be going through all of these later on as well. Haven't missed anything important, and just telling everybody about the Half Yard Club. So if you're a member already, put a post on there and come and say hello, and what have you been making, and have you got any questions, and just come and say hello. What do you think about the club? How long have you been a member? We're 3 years old now, you know. Right, I can actually show you the club as well. If I just click on this, this is it. So that's the home page. I'm already signed in here. So this is a taster of what you're going to find. So this month's project, the main project for September, is the sewing roll, and you've got the scissor case as well. So I really like that set. And the secondary project, so there's no video for this one, there is a video for both of these, is the exploding box. I'll show you that in just a second. And this month's block of the month is dominoes, and I've also made a draft excluder from that project as well. So I'll just have a quick scroll through so you can get an idea of the kind of projects that you're going to be able to make. Gardening set. There's Wonky Street as well. Wonky Street is a whole set of cushions. There are 4 of them. They're seasonal. We've got beach bag, the dragon that's behind me there, you see. We've got a pencil skirt and a collared top with vents. Those are no pattern tops and skirts. We've got quilting and patchwork, reversible apron. There's the kimono. I know Lisa's made loads of those. We've got a pet bed. So you can see it's really very varied. There's the boys and girls Christmas outfits, Robin the rag doll. There's baby bags, another little box top there. Outfits for the rag dolls. Loads of stuff. So if we always back up to the top, we've also got tips and techniques. So tips for sewing with viscose, for sewing with cork. These are videos as well. So I'll talk you through basically, you know, what kind of needles you need, whether you can iron this or not. There's lots of videos on here as well. So tips not just for working with different fabrics, but inserting zips and all kinds of stuff. They're not all videos, but a lot of them are. Sewing with laminates, buttonholes, chain piecing, understanding dressmaking patterns, making up a shirt, full bust adjustments. So that's all in the tips and techniques, and that's growing all the time as well. We have Ask a Member. So if you've got a question, like Kim put on this morning, I think it was, if you signed up for a stall for the Christmas fair, what would you be sewing right now? So I'm going to come up with some ideas for that. So these are all questions that you can ask, and either me or the team or other members will be able to answer those for you. Now you're also going to be able to get a discount on books. So if you're a club member, you get 30% discount if you go to the Search Press website. There is a code for you to use, so you can just click on any of those books, and that'll take you to the Search Press website, and then you can simply put in the code, and then you get your discount basically. So that's a very quick overview of what the website's all about. I love it, you know. Jenny's got a pink parcel. 12 months for the Half Yard Club is £60 or £59.99. So it's £5.99 a month. So if you go for the 12-month subscription, you can still get the month free if you want to try it by putting in that code WELCOME in capital letters. But yeah, 2 months free if you help please. Quilter table runner. Do I quilt before I put the backing on or after? Sue, personally, I would quilt after. It depends how you're going to bind it. If you're putting bias binding around the edge, then I'd quilt through both layers because that helps to keep all of the fabric together, but it's your personal choice, you can do either. But I think if you quilt through the fabric underneath, it stops so much fluff from your wadding going into your sewing machine as well. So that's what I would do. If you're going to bag it out, so if you're going to sew the lining and the top right sides together and then turn it through, you won't be able to quilt it because you'll all be joined together. So personally, I'd put the backing on, put bias binding around it. That's what I would do. Hello, Alison in North Carolina. Leslie says, a brilliant club, well worth the money. There's always something that I want to make. Patterns are always easy to follow and someone who will help if you need it. Well done, HYSC. Thank you for that. We do try to help. We don't have the dolls in a kit, and no, those are Half Yard Club projects. There will be patterns and video instructions on how to make those as well. Thank you, Sue. She's made lots of projects, she says. Morning, Margaret. Oh, sorry, who's that in Spain? Oh, missed you. Sorry, excuse me, I'll scroll back. Oh, Mary. Hi, Mary. Sarah's said, brilliant club, great value for money. Thank you. Sue highly recommends Half Yard Club, made loads of the projects. Thank you for all of those. It's lovely to hear your comments. But we're very good actually with Half Yard Club at getting back to you and sorting out your questions. And so there is a team of us. So up here, although she's not here at the moment, there's myself and Kim, my daughter. So I'm responsible for making the projects basically. Gary photographs them. Kim does a lot of the social media and comes up with an awful lot of ideas as well. And then we have Caroline, who's from Search Press. So I run this with Search Press, who are my publishers. So they publish all of my books. And it was Caroline's idea. Caroline's a big boss. And then there's Emily, who is editor. She's editing some of my books at the moment as well. So all of the projects are, they're proofread. We have Betsy, who's a proofreader. They're all proofread, they're all edited, so they're really professional. It's not just me drawing patterns, and because we have Emma who digitizes everything, so you've got proper patterns, but everything is tested and everything is edited, so you get a really professional look. And then we have Sophie and Claire, who are social media. So we've got a lot of people who are there all the time, including weekends, looking at your messages and answering questions and helping you out if you have any problems. Oh, just to mention as well, this is quite a new website. We upgraded it this year, and it's very fancy, I have to say. You do have your own account on there, so if at the moment you're paying monthly and you think, hang on a minute, I want to save myself 2 months a year, you can do that yourself. You can change your subscription, and when you subscribe yourself, when you go into your account, if you want to cancel your subscription at any time, you can do that yourself there as well. So have a look at your account, and if you want to change anything. Lisa, Gary does do very good coffee, actually. I'm expecting one any time now. Hello Karen. Karen loves being a member of the Half Yard Club. This is my first year and I've learnt so much. Oh, thank you for mentioning the fabrics from Debbie's website. That's something I want to mention as well. I have a website which is debbieshawsewing.com. These are completely unrelated. So if you are a member of the Half Yard Club, then don't use that password to get onto my website. It's like Sainsbury's and Marks and Spencer's, they're completely separate. But if you are a member of the Half Yard Club, if you go onto the About Me page, there will be a discount code. So when you go onto the debbieshawsewing.com website, you get 10% off, 10% off anything. And when we have sales, and there is a big sale department there as well, you get an extra 10% off the sale prices as well. So it's not the same website, they're not connected, but you do get that discount if you go onto my website. Hello, Jill Jones. Very well, thank you very much. Do you like the Halloween outfit? So these are coming out on Wednesday. The video, or Maddie's outfit is coming out on Wednesday, so there's a video for that. The little tulle skirt is separate, so that could be a fairy outfit or a tutu. The dress has got the laces going down the front. You can make just the dress on its own and make it into a party dress. And the hat's a little fascinator, so that's on a headband. And then Robin's outfit is coming out on the 2nd. No video for that one, but you do get your instructions. And there's a pattern for the hat there as well. But they're fun, aren't they? Oh, and then with the shoes, I just used a little bit of the extra tulle that was left over and put bows on her shoes, which I don't think you can see. Yes, you can. She's got bows on her shoes. So yeah, that's next week. Only yes, if you join now, you will have access to 2 years worth of projects. So there's 2 projects a month. We keep them up there for 2 years. So you've got 48 projects. With the block of the month, which this year is the seminal, we're not taking those down. So you'll have 3 blocks of the month to go with. So the first one was a half square triangle quilt. Last year's, I don't have them here with me actually, last year's was, I can't remember what we called it, but there's lots of different patchwork and applique. There's like a birdhouse in the centre of it. So that was quite a large quilt. This one's a bed runner, so this is long and thin. And then there'll be another one next year, which I'm not going to tell you about just yet, but that's all in the can. But we'll keep those there all the time. We're not going to take those down. So yeah, you've got a lot of projects if you join now. I'm glad you like the outfits, Lisa. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a witch's outfit, does it? It can, you know, it looks quite witchy, I think, in the purples and the blacks and everything, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be witchy. Angelina's going to join the Half Yard Club when she lands at a new home. Oh, right. We'd been better do some sewing, hadn't we? Joyce, the code for Search Press is on the website, on the Half Yard Club website. So I can't give you that here now because people pay for that, don't they? Oh, Janet, welcome back again. Oh, thank you, Debbie. How many years in advance are you working to currently? Actually, we're having a production meeting very soon, as far as Half Yard Club's concerned, to plan out all of the projects for next year. So that's where we are there. Book-wise, 2023. I haven't got any books planned in after 2023, but I have a word with the boss, haven't I? Hello, VK Narang oh, Meena, hi Meena in India. She's been making lots of pouches in Orlando. Yes, Linda, our fabric is available internationally. The postage is quite expensive, I think, to go to, where were you? Sorry, you've disappeared. Orlando would be, I think, it's £16.50. So, and that's not me being greedy. That's what the postage costs, I'm afraid. So yeah, we do just have to mention Kim's new cushion on the website. Oh, she put it up. Oh. Anyway, before we start sewing, so I'm sorry if you're all ready and waiting and everything, if you're sewing along, I wanted to show you the exploding box. This is the secondary project, so if you join now you'll have this one as well. And it's this, and it opens up into this. So there's only a little bit of sewing with this one, just with the elastic and putting the pockets on and everything. But I just thought that was a little bit of fun. It's a really, really simple idea. But if you're thinking about making Christmas gifts, actually, we did have the comment on Half Yard Club, didn't we? Asking if you've got a Christmas stall, what would you make? That I think that'd make you a bit of money.
Coffee?
Is it coffee time?
Sorry, I'm late.
Thank you very much.
Mary wanted a coffee, and I've just got back.
Yeah, Leslie likes one with a bit of brandy in it. You know what she's like, and it is 11.
I'll get hers now. You didn't tell me Mary was in America though.
Oh, they're all over the place, this lot. Lisa probably won't want the coffee. She'll just have neat gin.
Well, not neat brandy like last time.
No, not the brandy. I think she's on the gin now. You know what she's like. Amanda says hi. Oh, hi. He's gone. A Maddie book coming soon. Leslie working on it, but it's not going to be for another year or so. But yes, I've been working on that at the moment. Lisa says morning. 1 milk and sugar for Jenny. He's gone again. He comes, he leaves me my coffee and he goes. Oh, Lisa doesn't want a gin. She's already had half a bottle. Did you do a bit of sewing? because that's far too hot yet anyway. Okay, so this is what we're making. So it's ever so easy, and it's just made from one patchwork block, but it looks quite effective, doesn't it? So I think that if you've got your strips of fabric in different shades, works really well. So, you know, some quite plain, some quite strong. Anybody sewing along? Let me know. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like my mug, Sandra. It is in one of the new mugs, Jenny. Thank you very much. I can't really show you from there, can it? Because you just little birds on there, and on that side you've got, try not to spill it, you've got my logo. I know, we're going up in the world. So let me get my stuff. So I've already cut my strips. I did say in the ingredients list to cut strips, and this is ideal if you have fat quarters, a fat quarter pack of 5, because the one strip just comes straight off the end of the fat quarters and you've still got loads left, and generally you'll have 5 fat quarters in a pack. Otherwise just 5 strips of fabric, 2 inches wide, 18 inches long. All of the details are on Facebook on a previous post, and on YouTube, that underneath in the description box. I put them on there this morning. Whiskey in my coffee. Karen, honestly, you lot, it's not even midday. Right, so we're just going to sew these together. So I've got my zip there, I've got my little, these are little bits that are going to go on the end of the zip. This one I didn't, so the zip goes straight into the end of the pouch, but this one I thought I'd put little tabs on the end because then I can top stitch it. You can't top stitch it when you do it that way, but I'm going to top stitch this one. So let's arrange these. Irish coffee, honestly. You're going to get the Half Yard Club of reputation, you lot. So I want to arrange them so you know I don't have 2 dark ones together, basically. So I'm splitting those up, and I think I'll have a light one right down the centre in the middle. And I'm literally going to sew them all together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Right. Oh, do you know, I've put my main machine in for service. So this one normally I have the bulb covered over, so you can actually see what I'm doing under here. So I'm sorry I took that off when I was working on it. So that's rather bright at the moment. If I've got something I can stick on it. Maybe not. Maybe if Gary's watching, he can come down with something to stick under there with a bit of blue tack or something. Tricks of the trade, hey, but I don't want to blind you. So it doesn't have to be an exact 1/4 inch. Oh, look what I've done. I've gone black. As long as you're consistent. So just sew down the sides. These will be cut down, so you know mine aren't quite the same length there for some reason. But we're going to trim these down into 2 squares anyway. So Hazel hanging out the washing, does that count as housework on a Saturday morning? I'm not sure I approve of that. I'll just turn on the iron then, Lisa. I did forget to bring some water down to make it steam actually. Whoops. Nearly sewed 2 pieces together. So talk amongst yourselves a second while I'm just sewing straight lines. It is, Deirdre, it's a fat 1/4 pack. I can't remember what it's called. It's one of the new ones on my website, on the debbieshawsewing.com website. Love it when you chat amongst each other. Yes, actually, Olive, you could use jelly roll strips. Your bag will be slightly larger because jelly roll strips are 2.5 inches wide, so it won't be very much bigger. But yeah, that would work very well. Never thought about that. Jelly rolls aren't so easy to come by at the moment, you know. And trying to get some on the shop. Yep, 1/4 inch. seam allowance. Thank you, Brenda. Lynn's late. Oh, Lynn's that. We're making a patchwork pouch. So at the moment I'm just sewing strips of fabric together. There should be a picture on a previous Facebook post with all of the materials listed on there as well. Do we have anybody sewing along? Oh, hi, Connie. Oh, Connie. I forgot completely, again, embroidery hoops. So I've actually just ordered some as I was sat here this morning. So Wednesday we're going to be doing the embroidery hoops. That's on my Debbie Shaw Sewing Facebook Live in YouTube. And I don't think I've got any of those here either. One of my design team made some little embroidery hoops, so they're about 3 inches big. They look like Christmas baubles with Christmas fabric in them. They're really sweet. And Connie asked if we could have a tutorial, and I forgot. And then she asked again, and I said yes, and I wrote it down, and I still forgot. So actually, I'll tell you why I remembered. I've just been having a tidy up this morning, and I found my notebook. And my notebook says embroidery hoops for Connie. So I'm leaving it where I can see it now. So we'll be doing that on Wednesday. Right. So then we have this. So let's press it. Morning, Valerie in Aberdeen. Right. So I'm just pressing them all to one side because that's quite easy. I tell you what, because I don't have any steam, I do like to use steam. I'm just going to use a bit of spray on that one, just to help it stay in place. Cutting flannel for grandgirls' pillowcases along with your sewing. Oh, hello, Sylvia and Kissy Me. That's better. That's nice, isn't it? Right. And then this we're going to cut into 2 squares. So a little cutting mat up. And then, oops, and my ruler. So I'm just going to square off the end of this one. So that's a good idea, Sandra. Do you know, I have these, I've got so many of these notebooks, seriously. I have to write everything down these days. I don't know about you, everything. And then I go and forget where I've put the blooming thing. Right, what am I writing down? Water for, see what I mean? Water for the iron. You like that? Anybody else like that? I do it all the time. I'm one of these people that walks into a room, I can't remember why I walked in there. But I forget conversations and everything, it's ridiculous. Anyway, this now measures, that should be 8 inches, spot on. And we need to make 8-inch squares. Do you know I didn't cut my strips long enough? That was a silly thing to do. Oh, yep, just about do it. So, will we do it? I told you to cut 18-inch strips, didn't I? Yeah, tag under. Right. So 6, 7, 8 is there. And 6, 7, 8 will be right on the end there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is to chop these in half diagonally. Can you see what I'm doing? Pat does it all the time, Joan does it, Janet does it. I'm glad it's not just me. So literally in half diagonally like that, and we need to do that on both pieces. Right. And then we're going to have a bit of a play with these. So move you out of the way. So we're going to turn these around so that the points all meet in the middle, like so. Okay, that's quite effective, doesn't it? Actually, with those dark ones in the centre, looks really nice. Okay, so that's how we were. So we want the right angles now to all join in the centre to make one big square. And they should kind of twist around, so this way, that way, that way, that way kind of thing. And then we'll sew these right sides together and that right sides together, and then we'll sew the two pieces together. Susan's like that. Angelina, yeah, looking for your glasses and they're on your head. So I always think we have strange movements in the house. When you put your scissors, it's always scissors with me, you put your scissors down and then they just disappear and you look everywhere for them and they end up being exactly where you left them, right in front of you. It would actually, Lisa, wouldn't it? That would make an amazing quilt. It must have a name. There is, Susie, there is a cutting board inside there. It's not quite big enough to put the two on, so that's why I got my other cutting mat out. Just make it a bit easier for you to see. Right, so these two right sides together. So anybody join the Half Yard Club today? Or going to after this live? Let me know. So that's that. And then I'm just going to double check which side I'm sewing. This one, that's it. Oh, Amanda's ordered the cutting board, my little one. It's a really handy thing actually. To be honest, I use it more for ironing than I do for cutting, but it's quite handy. Also, it's got like a page inside it. So this feels like sandpaper, but it actually grips onto things. So if you're doing any patchwork pieces or English paper piecing, it's ideal to store all your bits on there. Mary says, I found that when I've got a lot on at the same time, I'm quite forgetful. That's it, isn't it? It's having too much on that makes you forget. Nothing to do with age at all. Retrace steps of bind. A bunch of notebooks, 3 or 4. I do that, Caroline. Then I can't, even if when I've found the notebooks, I can't remember which notebook is the most up-to-date one. So I tend to have one notebook for the office and one notebook for me and one notebook for Ditties. Oh, Eileen, thank you. She's already a Half Yard Club member. Thank you for commenting. Follow on Instagram. Oh, Trix, first time on Facebook today. Yeah, Half Yard Club, we do have an Instagram page. If you want to pop along, if you do Instagram and follow us on there, would be very nice. So I'm just pressing that before I sew these two pieces together. And I'm only pressing to one side and pressing it where it wants to go, to be honest. And then I'm going to match the points in the centre. And this is quite easy because the way that the patchwork wanted to go, they're in opposite directions on each side. And that just means that when you put the seams together in the middle here, they kind of butt up against each other. So if you wanted that to be really accurate, you can stick a pin in it. I'm not too fussed about this being perfect because it's going to wrap around a bag ultimately anyway. So, and I will trim this down a bit as well. I don't know why, but sometimes your fabric can move a little bit. Well, it does with me. Up to the pin and straight down. That's a good idea, Joan, making a cover for each notebook. I could just write what they are in a Sharpie, couldn't I, straight across the cover. There we go. No, not age related, is it, Mary? No, it's a sign that you're busy, I'm saying. More pressing. And again, I'm not pressing this open, I'm just going where it wants to go. It seems to be that way. Bye, Amanda. I'll see you again next time. Thank you for joining us this morning. Do you know, Stacey's not tried patchwork before. I think it can be a little bit daunting with patchwork and quilting, and it can be very, what's the word? Can be a little bit intimidating, and there is a lot of jargon with it, and it's, I don't want to say elitist, but I think a lot of people, when you first look at patchwork and quilting, just think I'll never be able to do that. It's like a whole new science, and all it is really is chopping up bits of fabric and putting them back together again. I'm not a huge quilter, just don't have the time, but little projects like this I actually really enjoy doing. I enjoy doing it once, so I don't know if I'd want to make a whole quilt, maybe a table runner, but I like just doing this one block and then just using it to make something else. So it could be the front of a cushion cover, or just a placemat or a sewing machine mat or something like that. I think that's what I like about it. I like the quicker things. Right, I'm going to trim this down to make it square, because like I said, I don't know why, but personally although I use exactly the right seam allowance and all that kind of malarkey, it doesn't always turn out perfectly square. So I'm sure I'm not the only one. So let's trim all of this off. And then we'll start making the pouch. It is a good way to use scraps as well, Kim. Or if you have these pre-cut fabrics like your jelly rolls and fat quarters, or maybe you've just got a few left, you don't use the whole roll, then perfect projects for little things like that. And you know, sometimes, in fact a lot of the time, when you buy a pre-cut pack, coffee's going cold, there's normally one in there that you don't like. You ever found that? So it's very rarely do I find all 5 or 6 or however many fabrics that you think, oh, I love every single one of those. There's normally one that I just think, well, I'm not going to use that. But they're all designed to go together, so it works like that. Well, so we've got, I'm missing you. My friend just bought a tiny designer dog. Oh, what size is your square? Oh, sorry, I should have said, shouldn't I? Doesn't have to be exact. Mine's measuring 10 inches. If yours is bigger, or if you're using 2.5-inch strips, if you are using a jelly roll, then your square is going to be a bit bigger, but it really doesn't matter the size at all. I mean, if that was an inch bigger, then that'd be quite nice actually. Right, so this we're now going to put over the stabilizer interfacing. Fusible fleece, and I line that on. This is what I wanted my steam for earlier. I use Valiseline, this is H640, which is a fusible fleece, so it's like a polyester fleece, and it likes steam. Some of them don't. A lot of them don't come with instructions either. This one doesn't come with instructions, but normally plenty of steam with this one. Some of the fleeces will kind of buckle a little bit if you use steam on them, but this one likes it, so I like it. Hello Janice, hello Melody from Texas. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you like the mugs, Denise, as well, brand new. Actually, that's sticking very well. Oh, have we got a new member? Sorry, your comments kind of scroll through, so unless I see them as you post. I haven't made Christmas placemats yet. No. Oh, Sarah, I'm not sure the awards that I've won. I've fingers crossed. They present the awards in February, so they normally let you know before the end of the year. So it's been a while yet. Yeah, they let you know, but tell you not to tell anybody. So that's, yes, that's exciting time. So you try and put it out of your mind for now. I think there's still one open, isn't it? I think it was just the Craft Awards that closed on Friday. I think the British Sewn Awards are a little bit later. Can't remember. So I'm just skipping back a bit. Making them different colours of fabric helps not get bored of the pattern to make. That's a good idea. Yeah, you'll be on the naughty step for doing housework this morning, definitely. I didn't realise you had to be a UK member to vote Brenda, but thanks for looking at it anyway. Right, so I'm just going to trim the fleece back. I'm going to drink this coffee. It gets cold every week. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for voting. Thanks, Alexis. And Vintage Butterfly, thank you. Oh, you lot. You're so nice. Got to lock that. Right, so I'm just trimming the fleece down to the same size as the square. Like so. And like so. Thank you, Marilyn. Holiday mug rugs. Holiday mug rugs. I'm writing that one down as well. Thank you very much, Sylvia. Holiday mug rugs for Sylvia. Should we do that in the next sew along? Sew along. So that'll be the end of October, 30th of October. 30 Oct. There we go. By the way, you know, I was saying that we're having a production meeting for the Half Yard Club very soon. It'll be a Teams meeting, I think. That's a good idea, Jenny. For ideas for things for next year, we do have. We'll all kind of pitch in, every one of us, with ideas, and we have a whole list of requests from members as well. So if you are a member and you want to put a post or send us an email with any suggestions that you have, then do so. I can't guarantee that we'll be able to do them, but always up for ideas. And it's a coaster basically, Deirdre. It's just a fabric coaster to put your cuppa on. We do mug rugs and mug hugs, they call them. A mug hug is one of those cozies that goes around your mug, and then your rug is, oh, I can't talk today. Your mug rug is what you put your mug on, and your mug hug is what wraps around it. A demo on the patchwork Christmas cushion. Linda, it's not my design. Christmas cushion. That was made by my friend Melissa. Melissa's cushion. And I think it's her own pattern. If you haven't seen it before, it's normally behind me here somewhere. It's down there, but I can't reach it. It's it looks like a Christmas present with half square triangles, but I think she made it up herself. So I shall give her a bell and ask her if she's got a pattern for it, or if she minds if I copy it. So yes, we'll have a look at that. Cafetiere covers, that's a nice idea as well. Have you ever considered using a walking foot? Yeah, actually, Valerie, the machine that I use that's going in for service has a walking foot built into it, so it's on there all the time, so I use it all the time. This is quite a new machine and I haven't got around to putting it on yet. Have I got it here? No, it'll be in the accessory box somewhere. I must put it on. But yes, I do normally use a walking foot. I don't know if I've made a mug rug already. I think I must have done at some point. Thank you, Jennifer, for voting. Joella, the dog's just woke you up. It's nearly midday. Making a patchwork cosmetic pouch. So that's as far as we've got at the moment. Now for the back, on your materials list, it's 12-inch square, so I need you to cut this down, but not to the same size as this square, because we need to put a seam across the bottom to allow for a turning gap. So we're going to have this to the same width. See what I mean about losing things? I only just had that rotary cutter and I couldn't find it. So we'll go for the same width. Let me chop that off the bottom. That's a selvage off. Look at that, new blade this morning as well. But we're going to go 1 inch, 2.5 centimetres longer. Okay. So my backing fabric's that little bit bigger. and I'm just going to run the iron over that because I don't like working with wrinkly fabric. See, I'd lost that as well. So I'll give that a quick spray. 6:44 a.m. in Florida. Oh, that's all right then. And in Ohio. I'm glad you like the fabric, Eileen. It's a fat quarter pack. So they all match, which is really nice. Right, so what we're going to do with this, so that's the longer side. I'm going to fold it in half and just crease the centre. Mug rugs and mug wraps as gifts for my girlfriends for our first meeting since lockdown, says Pam. What a nice idea. And I'm going to chop that in half. And then I'm going to sew it back together again. With a 1/2 inch seam allowance this time, so that should make this square the same size as my block. But I'm going to sew it back together again with a gap in the middle because that's going to be my turning gap. That's why we've got the seam at the bottom. Glad you like her outfit, Kaz. That is next week's Half Yard Club project. There's my gap. There we go. And I'm just going to press the seam open. Morning, Karen. Come here. There. So there's my gap. There's my seam. That's that. Right, now let's put the zip in. So first of all, I'm going to put those little tabs onto the end of the zip. So I'm going to chop the end off. And I'm going to chop this end off. And I want to make it so I've got maybe 1 inch, 2.5 centimetres of tab at the end. So I want my zip to be 8 inches long basically, don't I? Let me measure that. A little bit less. There we go. So I'll just double check. That's 10.5. What's that one? 10. So I'm chopping that down to 8. And I'm chopping this down a bit because it looks like it's a little bit too big. Oh, only slightly out. Right. Oh, it is easy, Lynn. Lynn says I make sewing look quick and easy. This is actually a very quick project. And I mean, before you put this together, if you wanted to, you could quilt, maybe do some echo quilting around the triangles. You could do some squiggly lines or cross hatching or whatever you wanted to. So if you wanted to quilt it, then now's the time to do it. Okay. So these little 2-inch squares are too big, so we'll chop those down in a bit. So I'm going to put them facing down over each side of the zip. So I'm trapping the zip in the middle of them both. And then we'll sew straight across. Sarah says, I've got a walking foot. Is it beneficial to use it all the time? Once it's on, to be honest, I don't take mine off. So there's no harm in using it all the time. Most walking feet, you'll be able to do decorative stitches and zigzags and all kind of things if you use that kind of thing. So you don't have to just use it for a straight stitch or whenever you're quilting. The only thing with the walking feet that you attach like you would do on this one is they can be a little bit noisy. As I said, my main sewing machine has a built-in one, so it's always there. It's always using a walking foot. But because you can use it all the time, once you put it on, it seems pointless to take it off again. So. Sharon got lost, missed how to sew the triangles together and now having to unpick. Oh, sorry Sharon, I could have, when you cut your two triangles, it's the right angle bit that needs to go into the centre. So that's the right angle bit. So that would have been the bit that you cut, if that makes sense. So the square would have been like that, and then twist them around so that all the right angles are meeting in the middle. How do you stop the tabs at the end of the zip from sinking down into the seam allowance? How do you stop the tabs at the end of the zip from sinking into the seam allowance? I'm not sure what you mean. The tabs at the end of they're too big, so I'm going to cut those down if that means anything. And this is going to go across the top of the bag like that, so it doesn't actually, the end bits go into the seam allowance, as does the zip. So, and then you just see that part of the tab. I'll carry on and hopefully that'll explain. This one, because the zip's open, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on that to hopefully hold the ends of the zip together while I sew it. There we go. And again, just sew straight across the end there. Now I'm not going to chop the ends of these off at the moment, but I can trim the sides down now so that it's the same width as the zip. Both sides. And then this is going to go facing down and just arrange it so that the zip's in the centre, so the length of the tab on each end is the same distance from the edge. And then I'm going to sew straight down the centre of the zip tape. So I'm not going to put the zipper foot on my sewing machine. Don't need to with this one, as it's a computerised sewing machine. Sorry about that bright light. When you have, most computerised sewing machines, when you've got a stitch width, which is this one on mine, there's no width to a straight line. So when you move this, when you press it, it moves the needle across to one side. So I've put the needle right over to the left-hand side, so I can sew down the centre of the zip tape without having to put my zipper foot on. So I will stop with the needle down, and because I'm coming up to the slider, I'm going to just lift the foot up with the needle down and manoeuvre that out of the way so I'm not sewing around it. And straight down the side. Lynn, I haven't got bits on the floor, I've got a bin down here. So everything goes straight into the bin at the side of me there, so no bits to pick up. So that's what I've got there. Now the second side is going to be the opposite side of your block. So that goes there. What width of what, Karen? So I'm just lining up the edge here. I'm going to sew from the zip side. And then sew all the way down there. Oh, Christine's sewing along, lovely. Oh, you've just joined the club. Oh, congratulations, welcome along. Made quite a few of the projects and sewing along, lovely, thank you. Yeah, if you, you're right, Joella. if you're not using the tabs, then the zip will disappear into the side seam like so. It can be a little bit bulky, but it also means that you can't top stitch, because you wouldn't be able to turn the bag the right side out if it was sewn across the end like that. So I mean, that's very nice. I don't mind that at all, but I just thought we'd do it a little bit differently on this one. So just sew down there. Sorry, my computer's trying to restart for some reason, so we're having none of that. Not now. If you do struggle moving the side, some machines have an extra high presser foot lift, so when you lift the foot up you can go at once, then you can go up again. That might make it a little bit easier, but just persevere with it. There is plenty of room for that slider to go around the needle. You just need to fiddle around with it a bit, and there you go. If it helps, you can use something, you see what I'm doing, to just push the tab along. So take control. Right, so now we need to put the lining onto the opposite side. So ignore the bottom piece for now, and we're going to put the lining right sides together with the top bit here, with the zip trapped in the centre. Okay, and I'm going to sew from this side so I can see where my stitches are, because obviously now the zip's concealed, I can't see where I'm sewing. So we go straight down here. Hi Teresa. I'm in here moving that slide back again. So is anybody actually keeping up with me? Oh, okay, Joan, just 1 second and I shall show you. Let me just sew down this side. Slider here again. I shall show you in a second, Angela. Ah, you go. Why you can't top stitch. I'll show you when I turn it through. The needle position. So sorry about this bright light. I normally have that covered up. On a computerised sewing machine, you've got your, let me just reset that, your stitch width and your stitch length. This one defaults to a 2.4 of the stitch length, and it's 3.5 for the stitch width. But on a straight stitch, you don't have a width. So have a try with it. If you press the stitch width when you're on a straight stitch, it can move the needle from one side to another. Some machines will have a 1/4 inch stitch. On this one it's number 3, so that's automatically moved the needle over to the left hand side, so I've got a 1/4 inch seam allowance, which I don't know if you can see it. It's just, there's a picture of the stitches to one side just there, so a lot of machines will have that as well. If you want an exact 1/4 inch foot, then go back to the beginning. So I'm swinging my needle over to the left hand side so that I can sew the zip in. So ooh, now I've gone into a buttonhole. There you go. Right, so let's sew the opposite side of this in. So I'll need to wrap this around. I'm going to fold that up a little bit. I'm wrapping this over. No, I'm not. Where have you gone? Here. Wrapping this over so I've got the opposite side of the zip here. Okay, so that, I'm going to close that a little bit, I'm starting from this end. So fold it over so that the raw edges are together and the zip is in the middle of those two pieces of fabric. So that's my outer fabric on one side, lining on the other. And then I'm going to sew again from the side that I've just sewn. Is that making sense? And sewing straight down the same line. Slider out the way. Oh, that's a nice idea, doing a key loop with the extra zipper tape. Good thinking. so we've got this. So I want to just make sure that the zip is open while we do this. Now the reason you can't top stitch if the zip goes up to the end is, I'm just going to undo that and turn it the right side out. Actually, I can't top stitch this, can I? I'm never going to get my machine round there. Oh, we'll have a go, we should be able to do that. Is because if the zip goes right up to the end, basically, so imagine that's the zip going up to the end, that no tab there, all zip, you're going to, you top stitch across the end of the zip and you top stitch here and here. So you've got one piece of fabric there that you're not going to be able to turn through, because when we sew this together, the lining and the outer bag, we need to push that into the lining side, and if it's top stitch you're not going to be able to do that, which is why, well, you end up with the zip going into the corner but no top stitching around there. Whereas when you're top stitching with a tab on like this, I'm going to top stitch here and across there, so I can still push that towards the lining side. So that's why, now this might be a little bit fiddly. So we'll take that off, you can go back to the centre. Right, we're going to do it. So as long as I'm only sewing through that one layer of fabric, just making sure my lining's out of the way here. So this may be a little bit fiddly, but it'll work. So I'm coming down to the end, so I'm just keeping all of the rest of this fabric out of the way. Let's move slider out of the way a little bit. Come here. Can't grab the thing, that'll do. Down to the end, turn around, and again, just making sure, I'm only concentrating on the actual bit that I'm sewing, not what's going on here. So that's getting all bunched up, which is fine. And back down this side. So you out of the way, I don't want to sew through the other side. There we go. So it's not the most important thing, the top stitching, but it does help to keep any fabric away from the teeth. It stops it moving, it holds it in place, and it looks nice. But if you find this little bit a bit tedious, then leave it out. So just across the other end. So I do have a camera with a much better view, but it went black when I tried to use it earlier on, so I'm sorry if you don't see very clearly what's going on here. Right. Hello Edith, where are you? In Perth, Western Australia. So that's top stitched. So what we're going to do now is to turn it back inside out again, and then we're going to sew it together. Put a bit of ribbon on the zip pull, that's a good idea, and it helps to manoeuvre around. Right, so we've got that. So now I'm going to sew down each side, and when you come to the bit with the zip tab, push it towards the lining side and it'll sit neater from the top. Oh, Bernadette's top stitching, she's going to be a while. Sylvia says she's made the wonky pillows, everyone loves them. Oh, thank you. Let's answer some more of your questions while we're waiting for Bernadette. Where is South Act? I've no idea. Just going back. Oh, so I always cut the zips to size. A long zip doesn't cost very much more than a very short zip. So if you've got a long zip, you've got a zip as long as you want it to be. If you've got a short zip, you've only got a short zip. So I tend to have a whole collection of, oh thank you Brenda, whole collection of long zips in all kinds of different colours. So I've always got the length that I want. I wouldn't cut a metal zip down, but you can do with with nylon zips. Oh, Sheila's just received a birthday card from Royal Mail 2 weeks late. Do you know, I've with the shop, I've had lots of problems recently with the post taking such a long time. I didn't know that they had any problems at the moment because I've been told, oh right, okay, that they're not having any problems and it's going to take 3 or 4 days for delivery, and that's standard and that's fine. But it's been taking a couple of weeks, so I don't know why. I should try and find out. Oh, Susan, thank you. Where's the best place to put pics of them? Make sure, if you remember the Half Yard Club, then post them on there. When you go to the your project pages, you can just drag and drop your own images on there as well. So but if it's a Half Yard Club project, it'd be nice to see them on there. Otherwise, you can post them on the Facebook page. Oh, Mary's going to sew when I'm finished. Shirley loves Maddie's costume. That's your next month's Half Yard Club project. You'll get that next week. So hers is the witch's outfit with the video, and the skirt's separate. So there's a dress underneath there with a lace down the front. It's got poppers down the back, but you could use Velcro if you wanted to. And the hat is a fascinator. That's on a child's headband. So that's the one with the video coming out on the 1st. And then the wizard's outfit for Robin as a bonus. That's coming out on the 2nd. I'm glad you like it. Oh, Helen got a fabric this morning. Lovely. Draw liner, cushion thing. That's a good idea. Draw liner. Liner. So we put all your, if you message on the Half Yard Club page or drop us an email to the Half Yard website, if you do have any ideas for projects for next year, it'd be nice to hear from you. So we're having a production meeting on the 15th, I think, to plan out exactly what we're going to be doing next year. So can't guarantee that we're going to be able to do all of your suggestions because we do get hundreds of them, but send them in anyway. Oh, Karen's got a jersey fabric. Have I ever made a pillow bag with a pouch with a punch for a book? Made one yesterday. A pillow bag. No, I haven't. Ordered jersey on Wednesday. My pink parcel arrived today. Oh good, that was quick, Marilyn. I'm glad it arrived quickly. Jean says, I know the post office in my area has had problems as they needed to train new people. Maybe that's it. Always my zip open. Your zip should be open. Yes, it is. It's still got a hole in the bottom, remember, so you can sew it there. Put your hand through there. Right, just flattening out the bit over the zip, and sew straight down. Then I'm going to square the bottom, like that. So just to make that into a nice triangle, you don't have a seam across the bottom to match that up to, so we're just going to make that as square as we can. So you've got a nice right angle triangle there. And then if you want to measure and mark, then feel free. I have a little ruler somewhere. As usual, can't find it, use the big one. And I'm just going to sew 1/2 inch from the point of the fabric, so not the end of the fabric there, from the point of the seam. So just measure that at 1/2 inch, and we'll draw a line on there. And we'll do that on these as well. Hi Pearl. Oh, bye Pearl. I did have a very full bobbin this time because I'm using this machine while mine's in service as well. I'm getting through quite a lot of thread, to be honest. Do the same with these. I mean, you can put a pin in there to hold it in place if you like. Let me do those. And we'll sew straight across. And like so. I'm not worried about seams open to one side or whatever, however you feel. And same on that one. and then let's snip them off there. Then we'll do the same on the lining. So if you're confident you don't have to measure and mark it, you can sew straight across. Now let's do it properly. So I've got the seams matching on this one, and that's 1/2 inch from the point, and sew across. Same on this side. So I'm just making sure that the seams are sitting on top of each other. It's only in the lining, so it's not the end of the world if they don't. And sew straight across. Oh, isn't it ridiculous, Connie? The queues for petrol. I don't know where in the world you are and if you're aware, but we've got a petrol problem at the moment. It's not the actual petrol, it's a lack of lorry drivers to deliver it to the garage. Do you know, we listened to the news all day yesterday, and all they kept saying all day was don't panic buy, don't panic buy. So of course people go out and panic buy. No, nobody can get any petrol. If they've not said anything, then we'd be all right, wouldn't we? Let's chop these ends off. I do kind of understand it though. I mean, my son's in Leicester today, then he's in Peterborough tonight working, and I mean, what happens if you can't get petrol? You can't get to work, can you? So I can understand it, I suppose. My scissors, these are core bond scissors, Susie. I don't know if you've got these on the website. Might not have put them on yet. They're ever so good. I ordered them quite by mistake. These weren't the ones that I ordered, but I was so impressed with them I never sent them back again. Anyway, cold coffee. Andrea, could you drop me an email, because I'll forget. Oh no, I won't. I'll write it down. The email address for my website is enquiries@debbieshawsewing.com. So if you do, Andrea Hobson, if you do have any questions, discount, or if you do forget to put in your Half Hour Club discount code, then if you email me, I pick the emails up every 5 minutes or so, so I'm really on the ball with the emails. To be honest, thank you, Teresa. I don't get onto Facebook very often to answer the questions, so I might be a bit late answering those. And on YouTube, I get so many. When you consider the way that it happens with YouTube, I don't know if you've got a YouTube channel yourself or not, but when you go onto your comments section, it comes up with all of the comments from all of the videos in order of when they're posted. I've got over 200 videos on there, so you can imagine how many comments come through every day. So it takes me a while to, it's one of those things where I have to sit down for a couple of hours and actually go through all of the questions. So a lot of the time I'll press the little heart and not actually answer anybody because there's just so many questions coming through. So if you do want to get in touch with me, it's better to go to the enquiries@debbieshawsewing.com, because I've got that on my phone as well, so I can keep up with all of your questions there. Oh, that's a good idea. At least you can get some petrol that way, Leslie. They said don't panic buy, but here in Georgia, 10 and 1 cup, I bought 7 extra. Oh, good grief, they're trying to put gas in plastic cups. Oh, Sheila, I need to work on ditties. I've just been so busy at the moment. I'm even working in the evenings at the moment, so I need to sit down. I have to have thinking time for a ditty because they've got to work, haven't they? Have I ever made a project bag for cross stitch? No, I haven't actually, Irene. Is there a specific requirement that you need for a cross stitch bag? Right. Things for men is a good idea. I'll have a think. It's a difficult one, that one, you know, because if I think what would Gary use that I'd made, there isn't anything I don't think that he'd actually use. So if anybody's got any ideas as to what to sew for men, then let me know. Brian, what would you sew for yourself? Come and let us know. Anyway, here we are. So I've sewn all the way around. So at this point you can open the zip if it's not open, but try and leave the zip open. I can chop the ends of the, if you're going to make a key ring thing or a wristlet, then you'll need to do that before you sew this together, and do it facing inwards in the seam there. Hello Marietta, she's loved to see you live from Brisbane. There's a few of you in Brisbane. Right, project bag. Fabric roll for small tools, that's a good one. Jennifer's impressed with the Corbon bag, Corbon scissors, sorry. I'm trying to read 2 messages at once. Right, so that's the outside of the bag now. Let's push out those corners with the tabs on. Looking neat. And then I have an awl in the bottom of my bag. So I'm going to sew it closed. Now if you want that to be invisible, use a, hand sew it with a ladder stitch, but I'm not too fussed in the bottom of the bag, so I'm just going to sew it on the machine. Toiletry bag, that's a good one, Jane. Travel bag for shaving supplies, yes. A pouch for keeping cables in would work, yes, good idea. I'm taking note of all of these. Right, so that's my little pouch finished. Does need a final press, methinks. And again, it's quite roomy inside there. But if you wanted to, make it bigger, it'll always be an oblong shape because we're working with a square. So it's always going to be folded in half. But if you use your 2.5 inch strips instead of 2 inch strips, it's going to be slightly bigger. You could always add an extra strip. So I've used 5 strips of fabric for this one. If you use 6 strips of fabric, you need more than your 18 inches, maybe go 22 inches. Then that's going to make a bigger square, so therefore you'll get a bigger bag as well. So you can kind of adapt and change the size of those if you wanted to. There we go, so I've got 2 of those now. That's slightly different. Okay, a knitting needle roll, a tool belt. Christine wants one for herself. Barbecue apron, tool apron. There's lots of stuff really, isn't there? I shall put that on the list for our production meeting with the Half Yard Club for next year's projects as well. More things for men, I think, would go down well. Thanks, Lisa. Right, I'm going to be back again on Wednesday on the Debbie Shaw Sewing Facebook page and on YouTube. We're going to be making decorated embroidery hoops, or fabric embroidery hoops. So that's going to be a nice simple project. And then I'll be back again next Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning. Now don't forget, if you are going to join up with the Half Yard Club and you want to try it free for a month, use that code use the code WELCOME in capital letters when you get to checkout for your free month. But if you'd like to come and join us, it'd be lovely to have your company there as well. So I hope you've enjoyed today. Next Half Yard Club sew along will be at the end of October, and we're going to make, what we're going to make, I forgot, holiday mug rugs. So I'll come up with a design for that. Maybe a little patchwork one would be quite nice as well, wouldn't it? A Christmas tree or something like that. See you on Wednesday, Olive. Thank you very much. Thank you, Susan. The strips are 18 inches by 2 inches. Sorry, I can't see your name there. You've just disappeared. Jane. My hope is prepared to see what man bag I make, as long as it's hard wearing fabric like an old one I had. That's a good idea. Thank you, Karen. I think I'm up to date there. Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Bye, Mina. Bye, Viv. Go on, you hang up first. Was that Dottie? Right, so I'll see you again on Wednesday if you're free. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Hope to see you in the Half Yard Club, and you take care of yourself. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye.